Right.
Now, if we put them out for bid, no matter what the bid price, they still have to come in and pay the taxes and
The people that are interested in reacquiring their property, Article 32 in this past year's warrant for town meeting states they have to come in and pay everything that is owed the town of Lubec.
Yeah.
That includes any fees, any legal fees.
So I'm saying if the original owner isn't interested and we put out the bid, does the bid, well, after they win the bid, do they still have to pay the taxes, the back tax?
What they're doing is they're bidding on our interest in the property.
The bid has to be large enough to cover
what's owed.
what's due to the town.
And the only way they could get it is if there was only like one bid. That was lower.
So these numbers that we have represent the full 3 years of non-payment?
So nobody's has come forward on Pumpkin Station or Cork Hill?
No.
The town is, you can put a minimum bid that is more than what's due.
Right.
You can also accept and reject any bid.
Any bid.
That comes in.
Right.
The former owners, according to Article 32, would have up until the day the bids are due to come in and reclaim the property.
By payment of everything that's owed.
By payment of everything.
Right. Before I make a motion on the last three, are we going to do minimum bid? Because we did some trial bids that we put out for, no, not this one, not that one, just these two. We had experimented with trying to put a reasonable value on some properties a year ago, I believe it was. And we got very poor response to that. And I realize that the process also allows the town to go through that once, and then we can turn it over to a realtor. That's correct. Who's probably going to put even more money on that. But it's their legwork and overhead to try to get those sold. In the end, we're only going to get what we're owed on it in taxes or any other.
No, we're going to get what the bid is.
We're going to get whatever.
Somebody can make a bid of anything.
Right.
I ran into this, Mike, with a couple of people that really give me a chewing out. They said, well, you know, this land that comes before the
Oh, is this the realtor speculation accusation?
No, it was just that I had a hard time explaining to a couple of these individuals that if you look and see what the taxes and stuff are that's due on the land and it goes out to bid, depending on your level of interest for the property, you can sweeten the pot to whatever you like.
That's correct.
That's just, and I said, it's up to the board to accept the high one, which I would think would be the norm.
That's what we've done in the past.
So he didn't think, you know, I don't know how they figured they'd get it if everybody bid the same thing. I mean, straws or, but, yeah.
All right.
If you look at the, on the left is an assessed value, and this is what we have the property assessed at, and then if you look at it on the right, this is what's over town of Lubec.
Right.
And I mean, there is quite a difference on all those accounts.
Well, I got a major problem with 17 Johnson Street in that that building is shacked. The wharf is rotted. The superstructure that holds up the wharf is rotted.
How about directly under the building? Is it just the perimeter of it around it? Or?
The perimeter around it is the worst. Right. Underneath the building proper, it appears sounder, although the ridge has been missing from that building for 7 years. Rainwater has gotten into the roof. It is not a building of any particular architectural value. It doesn't have insulation, and it's over water.
Don't mind that part.
So what is it worth? I mean, I know we've got this number because that's what it's worth and what's owed on the assessed value that hasn't been paid.
These properties are sold as is, where is.
Right.
If we decide to put them out to bid.
If you decide to put them out to bid.
I would put it out to bid because I'd much rather see taxes on anything in town that can pay taxes.
Well, you know, Jim, that's an honorable statement. I just have a problem with anybody interested in that one. Even if they got it for a song, they're going to put 20 grand into fixing it to make it safe to even enter the building.
I remember the building years and years and years ago.
When it was new?
Well, almost. You could see it from Tippy's, and he used it for salt for good many years, now they bought scat thought they just put canned peas in there, because if you get eggs in the morning, that typically you got canned peas. And he was from Massachusetts, he said, where'd you get all them canned peas? And of course, Reggie saw tell him why he can sit right down in that building. But, it got worn down, and it got changed in the hands, and they redone and remodeled the whole building and brought it up. And now today, of course, it's going back down in the run down stage, right? Because I guess if you don't put a certain amount of money each and every year, as you're aware of.
Deferred maintenance.
Yes, yeah, and if you don't keep that up, then you get behind, and this is what ends up, right?
Right.
But if someone is willing to come in and buy it and purchase it, I don't care if they wanted to stack kayaks in it or whatever. If they put the money in it, and of course, we're well aware if it starts to go by the wayside, whoever owns it is going to have to do something with it.
Right.
So hopefully, if it's back on the tax map, and somebody takes it over and because it is a valuable building this way. If somebody got creative with it, you could probably have a piece of real estate.
All
Can
right,
I ask you a question? Has any of these owners shown an interest in,
Yeah, like I said, 17 Johnson Street is interested in getting the property back.
okay,
And North Lubec Road is owned shared.
okay,
Letters went out to both the individuals involved, and one of the parties has shown an interest in getting that property back.
okay. But the other two,
Pumping
Properties.
Station Road and Fork Hill, we've got no response from.
okay. So it is possible to put two out
Yep.
at this time and to not put the other two.
all right.
Why would we want to put them
However,
all?
I have a question on the North Lubec one. You were asked to run this by MMA, and what was their response?
When I was asked to run it by MMA, we didn't have any interest in it. One of the parties has come through and indicated a willingness to resolve the
Right,
tax
but
issue.
What did MMA
the
say?
reason you were asked to run it by MMA is because proper notification wasn't given to the other party. And we need to clear that up.
Right.
Right, that's a procedural
So
thing from our
was
end.
it or wasn't?
Right, so
run
that
by
may
MMA?
not even ever go out to bid.
Okay.
My question is, was it or wasn't it run by MMA?
It was.
It was,
It was
but
run by MMA, I was
on a
present
different,
with Jim Clark and
with,
John.
on a different item.
Okay, so the
That,
question we
the
asked, well, has
notification item wasn't run by them. Is that correct? The lack of notification, let's put it that way.
To one
Yeah.
party.
Right. one
That's
party
correct.
Right.
So that part hasn't been run by MMA?
We're not trying to be mysterious here.
Right.
What happened is this property was owned by 3 different people. One person gave up their interest, taking it down to 2 people. Only one party, the person who wasn't paid, was notified
Right, because they were the only owner
of record.
right.
But actually, the other person should have been getting all the same notifications.
Yeah.
This is what needs to go by MMA.
So it
Right.
wasn't done.
And has not been done and needs to be done before we do anything else.
Okay. We ran into that with the 122 Main Street property, and what MMA said is they get a 30-day extension from the foreclosure date, or from the day they were notified.
Okay, so has that happened?
No.
All right, that needs to happen.
Well, I was only understanding that MMA told us that the portion that was foreclosed on was a third, and they sent the notice out, but the other 2/3 didn't need to be sent out, so I understand that.
I'd like to make a motion, we contact MMA and get some
Yeah.
100% clarification on that
Right.
property before we do anything.
Because
And have that back by next meeting.
I'll second that.
we had this same situation prior, and the other party should be getting the same notification and should have the option to redeem.
Right.
there
So
may be
that needs
more.
to happen.
And there may be more that are like that, we just don't know, because if they don't go to foreclosure, then everybody's paying their taxes and we don't discover it.
It
We
will-
discovered it because this one went to foreclosure.
We've changed our procedures, and this should
Right.
not happen again, that's
Okay.
correct, right, Randy?
All right,
Now,
Hopefully.
on this property here, both owners were notified by the letter. And in this case, the owner of the 2/3
Wants to
has
buy it,
come in and has indicated a willingness to acquire it.
right,
The other party still hasn't responded.
We
right.
need a vote on the motion.
But I don't
Yes,
think
that's what-
that we
okay,
need,
that's what we're-
that we should put this out for bid until we get proper,
Right, we have a motion and a second on John contacting MMA for.
Oh, yeah.
all in favor.
We need to
Yes.
make
Um,
motion, that motion that Mike seconded.
Yep, in deference to getting some of these out to bid, the two that have no clouded, which is Pork Hill and Pumping Station, considering what they're owed, I would like to make a motion to put those out to bid at a minimum bid of $1,000 each.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can, yeah. A minimum only means that would be the lowest that they could bid.
Yes,
Yeah.
But they could bid more than
Right.
$1,000.
We're
But-
a lot more than that.
but, huh?
We're a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think a minimum of 1,000 is a little low.
On these two, just these two, Pumping Station
We're not
and,
over
Yeah. But on pumping station, we're owed almost 11,000.
No,
No, that's the assessed value.
This is
read
what
the
we're
line
owed.
that says
Well, it says
taxes.
school to do to town, I'm
No,
looking down.
assessed values.
That's obsessed.
Due to
This is
town.
okay.
Okay.
I'm not
That's
giving,
a
this-
little
I'm not giving the store
confusing.
away,
Yeah,
don't
this
give
is
that
all
impression.
This is the
It's a little
subtotal.
confusing here.
That's the subtotal
The
for these
assessed
lines.
value is
Okay,
almost
so-
$11,000.
That's the assessed value.
That's
What we're-
correct, which
right.
is the value
Right.
of the property.
I was going down my
It's
columns
like
and it
2/3
said total due and then there's all
Right.
those numbers.
I don't know.
And Fort Hill is
Somebody-
We
8,000.
tried before going for something that was, you know, in between what a realtor would assess it at to put it out, and we got such a dismal response. It's like, we really just wanna get people to take them
Well-
over and start paying the taxes.
Well, if
again.
that's the case, then I'd say put it out
We
for
have a
bid
comment
for
from the
the
public.
$759.50.
Pardon me? You wanna put it out for just
Well,
the
just
amount due?
what the amount is due.
Okay.
And if there's an interest that somebody wants it, of course, they can say, well, if the minimum's gotta be what the taxes are, I want that piece of land, I'm gonna put $2,000 on it. See what I'm saying? That way there, we're doing it as just what the taxes are owed, and we're not acting like a real estate.
I would go with his idea of 1,000 because there are hidden costs. I mean, you've got Randy's time.
Randy, he always comes in the equation. Oh, sorry. Okay, all right, I just,
He just demands attention, I'm sorry.
Oh, good he is.
You get the letters and
Go ahead,
everything.
and you had a
I
comment?
have a question actually, because last time when we were talking about this,
Mhm.
my understanding was Pork Hill is a non-conforming lot.
Yes,
Can you sell that?
yes.
Yeah,
One of those bar everywhere kind of deals.
It is.
As
But
is where is,
also,
yeah.
you talked about contacting the abutting landowners on that lot. Has
Yes.
that
Yes.
been done?
Not yet. We
Not
haven't,
yet.
we haven't decided to put it out to bid yet.
Okay. So before we put it out to bid, we would probably contact the abutters. And thank you for bringing that up.
thank you.
Thank you for
Okay,
bringing
and
that up.
there's a
Thank
right of way right to that, right?
No,
Is this,
No,
well,
no.
what's this narrow,
yeah, look at it closely.
No,
look at
No.
it closely.
either way, I mean,
It was a right of
Right away.
way, but it's all,
It'd be nice if adjoining property owners, or the one that makes sense to absorb it, does so, but that's
our concern.
a
Right.
nice
Right.
view of how to do planning, and although that never seems to happen,
Right.
How
so.
many
Somebody might really want an
adjoiners
awesome
do we
place for a
They're
picnic
saying,
table.
that's right. You have an awesome place for a picnic table, a tent, or anything.
Good
like
view.
So we've got a motion,
Mhm.
we have some discussion.
that.
I'll restate my motion to put out
Thank you.
Pumping Station Road and Pork Hill for $1,000 minimum bid.
I would ask that you amend that
To
to contact the abutters of
Of
Pork
the
Hill